welcome to the Basics Child Safety Learning Module. I'm Tricia Crossman, Director of Child and Club Safety. You should have already completed the first two Basics learning modules where you learned about the Boys and Girls Club movement, the formula for impact, and the outcome-driven club experience. Both of those modules emphasized how important club safety is to helping young people achieve the positive outcomes and the great futures we envision for them. Before our members can achieve academic success, demonstrate good character and citizenship, and live healthy lifestyles, they need to feel physically and emotionally safe while participating at the club. As youth development professionals, you are a critical link in ensuring our clubs and our members are safe. After all, you're the ones who interact with our kids and teens the most, who are most likely to notice if something is wrong, and you're the ones who get a nagging feeling when something isn't right. You are your club's first line of defense in keeping youth safe. While making all of our members safe is our primary goal, creating long-lasting success requires each of us to make a serious commitment to safety. To do this, we have to reduce the possibility of risk or harm in our clubs at all times. This means not only do we have to keep our clubs safe, but we also have to make them safe moment by moment. We can only do this by paying attention to our surroundings and keeping safety a top priority. To make your club as safe as possible, you first need to understand your club's safety policies and procedures so you know how to spot and prevent a potential situation, intervene to stop the risk or danger, and report incidents, concerns, and suspicions. This learning module is designed to help you do just that. Let's start by discussing the importance of your club's safety policies and procedures.
Annually, thousands of lawsuits are filed against organizations serving our nation's youth, and unfortunately, we are not exempt. To thoroughly address child safety issues, your club's safety policies and procedures need to include the following 4 areas of risk: sexual abuse and misconduct, bullying and physical aggression, security, emergency and custody, and physical injuries. The good news is that by knowing your club's safety policies and procedures, you can truly help protect your members from harm. Your ability to be proactive, spot potential problems before they happen, and respond appropriately when they do can help keep members safe, minimize your club's risk of costly lawsuits, and protect your job, relationships, and personal reputation. Let's begin by exploring what you, as a youth development professional, can do to prevent and address the risk area of sexual abuse and misconduct. Sexual abuse and misconduct are serious threats to our members' safety. They can occur inside or outside the club and unfortunately are more common than you think. In a given year, 1 in 12 children is sexually abused. Youth account for more than 1/3 of those who commit sex offenses against other youth. Likewise, young people between the ages of 14 and 17 are at the highest risk of being victims of sexual abuse. Physical and emotional injuries inflicted in childhood can last a lifetime. Although the risk of abuse to children in clubs is considerably less than to children in their homes, abuse can happen to members in clubs. Regardless of where abuse occurs, knowing what to do when you suspect sexual abuse or misconduct is the first step to making sure your club is safe and positive for all members. It's important to remember that all child abuse, including neglect, is against the law and must always be reported. You do not need to prove or confirm the abuse is happening before you report it. If you have a reasonable suspicion that abuse or misconduct could be happening, you should report it immediately. In all 50 states, people reporting suspected child abuse are immune to liability when a report is made in good faith. The exact requirements related to reporting child abuse vary from state to state. In order to help you feel more comfortable sharing concerns or suspicions of abuse, Boys and Girls Clubs of America has established a free, confidential child and club safety hotline. The hotline gives you the option of making an anonymous report to your club's leadership if you suspect a club member is being abused. The hotline does not replace your club's reporting procedures. However, it does provide an additional channel where you can share any concerns you may not feel comfortable sharing face-to-face. When we break in a few minutes, your learning coach will share more information about the types of child abuse you may see, what constitutes reasonable suspicion, and your reporting options and processes. Let me ask you a question. Who comes to mind when you think of a child abuser? The truth is, a child abuser can be anyone, male or female, college graduate or high school dropout, married or single, old or young. Child abuse occurs across all ethnic and economic groups. Abuse victims can be from any family, no matter how wealthy or poor. And sad to say, this also means an abuser could be someone you or your members know and like. You are around children and strive to develop close, strong relationships with them every day. It is part of your job. Unfortunately, these relationships can make you more vulnerable to accusations or suspicion of misconduct. Therefore, it is important to always be aware of your actions at the club and understand how to act appropriately. To protect both you and your members, you should never be alone with a single member. You should only interact with club members on site or during club-sponsored activities, and you should refrain from any physical displays of affection or other actions that could be misinterpreted as inappropriate. Interacting with members is not just your job, it's fun, and it is probably one of the reasons why you chose this profession in the first place. However, certain interactions might create controversy. Every person has a set of personal rules or boundaries they follow when they interact with people. Words, gestures, touches, or distances that seem appropriate to one person could make someone else uncomfortable. For example, a pat on the back may feel like a sign of support to one young person, however, it could make another feel awkward. It is important that you are aware of your interactions with members at all times by paying attention to verbal and nonverbal cues, and follow your club's policies on appropriate contact with members. This is why, in addition to safety policies and procedures, clubs need to create a code of conduct. This code should include a common set of standards outlining which interactions are and are not considered appropriate. Let's stop here so you and your learning coach can discuss what your club does to reduce the risk of sexual abuse and misconduct.
I trust you had a good discussion with your learning coach on the first area of risk, sexual abuse and misconduct. Next, we will discuss the second area of risk, bullying and physical aggression.
As with all safety issues, being on the front line, you are in the best position to recognize and address this risk area. Dr. Olveus, a psychologist, author, and creator of the Olveus Bullying Prevention Program at Clemson University in South Carolina, defines bullying as when someone repeatedly and on purpose says or does mean or hurtful things to another person who has a hard time defending him or herself. In addition to physical bullying, there are other types of bullying, including verbal bullying, social or relational bullying, and cyberbullying. Bullying is a system of behavior that tends to go unnoticed by adults in authority until someone is seriously hurt. As youth development professionals, you can help prevent and stop aggressive behavior or bullying between your club members. Think about it. If harassed, most adults have the ability to stand up for themselves, call the police, and get a restraining order. However, children have a limited ability and lower confidence to stop bullying behavior on their own. Dr. Olveus suggests the most effective way to address bullying requires a systematic approach. He proposes that along with the bully and the victim or target, there are also 6 types of bystanders who are often involved. The best outcome is when everyone involved adopts new behaviors that do not tolerate bullying. If that happens, situations that permit bullying to go unnoticed and unchecked can be dramatically reduced. Bullying should never be brushed off as child's play or roughhousing. All bullying is serious and must be addressed by you, the staff member charged with protecting the youth in your club. To be true to our mission of working with young people who need us most, we have to look at the ways we can build supportive relationships with members and support the development of our youth, all while maintaining a safe club. Your club's safety policies and procedures should provide guidelines on how to recognize, intervene, and report all bullying incidents and any type of physical aggression. Let's break so you can meet with your learning coach to discuss how you can make your club a bullying-free zone.
Welcome back. I hope you and your learning coach had a great discussion on bullying and physical aggression. Let's move on to our third risk area, which includes security, emergency, and custody.
We'll begin with security. It may surprise you to learn that our nation's crime rates, including violent crime and property crimes, have actually been declining over the years. However, with all the tragic incidents happening in schools and other public places, Boys and Girls Club leaders are compelled to take every precaution to make sure our clubs are safe and secure for every member every day. Many clubs are located in high crime areas, and the safety of kids and staff continues to be one of our highest priorities. To help, Boys and Girls Clubs of America suggests that all clubs utilize the 7 layers of security noted on the screen. Your learning coach will review each of these layers with you. First, let's listen to how one club handled a security risk.
An individual walked in. Once he got in to sign in at the front counter, it was noticed that he did have something that appeared to be a knife in his back pocket, and it wasn't picked up by the wand when he came in. And the staff, they just quickly did exactly what they were supposed to do. One staff member went to the phone, the other made sure that the 2 doors where people would come in and out of was secure, and there wasn't an option for him to become irate because staff were already in place. Eye contact was being made that, if something does happen, you understand we're prepared to call the police. And if only one staff member is aware of policy and procedure, then it's not policy and procedure. It's not going to work if all of us don't know exactly what our role is in any situation.
Custody. This concerns your club's policies and procedures about members and other visitors entering and exiting the club. Do you know the procedure for members to sign in and out? Or can your members come and go as they please? Can members leave with anyone or only with their designated adults? Are the rules different for members of different ages? Knowing the answers to these questions is extremely important to child safety. As the example illustrated, all club professionals must know what to do when a security risk occurs. Likewise, to protect lives and property, all club professionals must know what to do in the event of an emergency. When an emergency happens, you need to know your club's emergency response plan, your role in it, and the role of your team. This way, you can immediately and appropriately respond to the situation and then quickly restore the club to its normal operations. Practice makes perfect. Each club should practice emergency drills at planned intervals, a crucial step in an effective emergency response plan. Even the most common emergencies require you to perform critical steps in the correct order. Equally important to your club's ability to respond to emergencies is ensuring at least one staff member certified in first aid and CPR is present in the club at all times. It's time for you to meet with your learning coach again to discuss how your club responds to security, emergency, and custody.
I'm back. We're down to our last risk area, physical injuries.
According to the Kids Count Data Book, the leading cause of death in children ages 1 through 14 is accidents. This can include unintentional physical injuries due to drowning, falls, vehicular crashes, fires, or poisoning. Every year, clubs file thousands of insurance claims for minor and major physical injuries. If club professionals pay attention to the potential hazardous conditions or situations in their environment, many accidents can be prevented from ever happening. Since member safety is one of your primary responsibilities, you must constantly look for ways to minimize hazards by being observant and noticing when something is wrong, by thinking about the potential danger a hazard presents, and by intervening and reporting problems to your supervisor. Another one of your primary responsibilities is the supervision of club members. Poor or inconsistent supervision creates an environment where accidents and injuries can happen. Good supervision means that you not only spot problems quickly, but you intervene immediately before they escalate. Remember to focus on proximity, sight, and sound. This means you should position yourself in areas where you can see and hear what's going on with the members you're supervising at all times. All club activities require proper adult supervision with an appropriate adult staff-to-member ratio. Boys and Girls Clubs of America offers a set of supervision ratios that are generally more stringent than most state laws. Minimally, clubs should strive to comply with state laws. Your learning coach will share your club's supervision ratios. They will also discuss what to do if you find yourself in a situation where your club's ratios are out of alignment. While maintaining these ratios is important, you should also make sure you provide age-appropriate activities to all your members. Youth are safest when they are participating in supervised, age-appropriate activities. Ultimately, you need to know how to adapt activities to members' individual needs, spot and handle potential behavioral issues, and know when to get help. Make sure you constantly scan your environment for hazardous conditions and situations that could cause injuries. Your supervisor can help you learn additional ways to provide age-appropriate activities and quality supervision, recognize hazardous, dangerous situations, and respond appropriately. Ultimately, it is your responsibility to routinely exercise due diligence in helping to prevent members' physical injuries. After listening to a staff member talk about a club accident, you'll be rejoined by Tricia, who will share her closing thoughts.
We use large ventilation fans in our part of the world because it gets rather warm in the gymnasium, and these are floor fans. Well, the gymnasium was left unsupervised, and a couple of boys moved the fan under the basketball rim. They wanted to dunk the basketball. Well, boy jumped up off the fan, grabbed the rim, and when he came down, he landed on his head. And we, again, just follow a policy that if you're responsible for supervising an area and you leave it unsupervised, then that can lead to immediate discipline action and could lead to termination. So we take that very seriously.
This brings us to the end of the video portion of the Child Safety Learning Module. I trust that you now know how important your club safety policies and procedures are to your ability to spot and prevent a potential situation, intervene to stop the risk or danger, and report any incident, concern, or suspicion in all 4 areas of risk. What you learned today will truly help make your club a safer place for every member. It's important to remember that child safety must be our #1 priority, and we all have a responsibility to make our clubs, young people, colleagues, and visitors safe each day. In your last exercise with your learning coach, you will discuss more specific details about the final risk category of physical injuries. Your learning coach will also help you prepare for your upcoming meeting with your supervisor. Thanks again for helping us make child safety our #1 priority.